Okay, I'm going to look at integration by parts, and this is basically the product rule for integration. And I very, very rarely actually write out the left-hand side of it. I just go uv minus v du by dx. Now, how do I work that out? So if I had this example, can you see the way it looks like the product rule? Now, I'm going to choose one of these to be u. I usually choose the easier one to be u unless it's a log. So you're going to see that in a second. So that's my u. So this bit is my dv by dx. Now, when I want to integrate it, so I'm just going to write I for integral. It's going to be uv minus the integral of v du by dx. I've got my u, I don't have my v. How do I get my v? You have to integrate this. Now, where did cos come from? Do you remember sine? When you differentiate sine, sine goes to cos. So if I'm going back, cos will go back to sine. I also know I need to have du by dx. So first thing, u is the easier one, or it's the log if there's a log. dv by dx is the other one. You've got to differentiate this and integrate that. Then what you do, write out the right-hand side of your formula. So the integral is uv minus integral of v du by dx. So it's uv minus the integral of v, where is it, sine x, du by dx is just a 1. Okay, first bit's been integrated, done, dusted. So how do I integrate that? Where did sine come from? Back to your differentiation. Remember, if you differentiate cos, it goes to a minus sign. So if you're going backwards, sine's going to go back to a cos, but it must be a minus sign. So put wee minus in and balance outside. So outside is now a plus, and sine minus sine goes back to cos x plus c. And that's how you do integration by parts. Let's see this one. Example 2. Now, it probably will take a good few of these till you get the hang of it. Now, remember I said u is the easier one, unless it's a log. So in this case, u is that one, and your dv by dx is the other one. This is me, picking my u and my dv by dx. So let's differentiate this. How do you differentiate a log? Derivative over the function. How do you integrate x? Add 1, divide by it. What does your integral become? uv minus v du by dx. So that's the right-hand side of the formula. So it's u, v. Don't be tempted to combine these x's, because remember that you're just logging the x. So I would be inclined to write it like that. Minus, where's my v? X squared over 2. My du by dx is 1 over x. Let's tidy that up. What have I got? X over 2 dx. That's looking nice. So how do you integrate a normal x? You add 1 to the power and you divide by it. So the 2 is already there and you're dividing by another 2. And don't forget your c. So that is x squared over 2 log x minus x squared over 4 plus c. Okay, so let's go again. Next wee example I've got here, the integral of x add 1 squared, e to the minus 2x dx. Now, u is the easier one. Now, it's quite hard to try to pick what's the easier one out of this one. Let's go for this. If you get it wrong, you just go back and try it. If you pick that to be u and it doesn't work out, you'll soon see if it works out or not. So if it doesn't work out, just go back and choose the other one to be your u. So don't get too caught up in that. I need my du by dx. How do you differentiate a bracket? Power comes to front, take 1 off, multiply it by the derivative. Okay, now integrating this. Now I find it hard to integrate just writing v equals, so I'm just going to write it as the integral sign. Right, how do you integrate an e? I must have the derivative in front. The derivative is a minus 2, so balance outside by minus 1/2. Now I'm good to integrate. So how do you integrate an e? It just goes back to the e function. and the derivative disappears. That's quite tricky, to be fair. Now, then we're going to do our integration by parts. So it's uv, and then it's v du by dx. So it's u, just putting wee bits and pieces in, v minus v, just take your time through this, du by dx. Now, quite a bit of tidying up to do here. Okay, so what have I got? Minus a half e to the minus 2x, x plus 1 squared. That becomes plus, that cancels down, and this is where you want to cry, because look, we've still got a product in here. So I'm going to have to go and do the product rule again. So let's do this. U is the easier one. dv by dx is the other one. Got to differentiate this one, and I've got to integrate this one. So to integrate an e, you must have the derivative in front, so I must have minus 2, balance outside. Now that minus a half sits there, and the e function just goes back to the e function. So I'm still in this section here. So uv minus v du by dx. You can see why I only ever write out the right hand side of the formula. So I'm just trying to just focus in on this bit. U v minus integral v du by dx is a 1. Okay, let's tidy that up. So it's minus a half e to the minus 2x, x add 1, plus, I'm going to bring that half out, e to the minus 2x dx. It feels like it's never going to end, this question. So what have we got? To integrate an e function, you must have the derivative in front. So I have to have a minus 2, balance outside by minus a half. We're nearly there. So the first term sits. That becomes minus a quarter. When you integrate the e, derivative disappears, so it leaves you just your e to the minus x. So this, so it goes up here. So let's rewrite it now. So my overall integral is minus a half e to the minus 2x, x add 1 squared, plus this, that's actually a minus, so minus a half e to the minus 2x, x plus 1, minus a quarter e to the minus 2x. Not an easy question by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, let's get this paper here to write on, and we'll do example 3. So got limits, pi over 6, x sine 2x dx. Hopefully you're spotting there, it's a product rule. And u is the easier one. So u is x, dv by dx is the other one. So got to differentiate this one. You've got to integrate this one, so I like writing it like this. Where does sine come from? Remember cos went to minus sine when you differentiate it. So we need a minus. Derivative must be in front. Balance outside by a half. Now that goes back to cos 2x. So writing out your integral, so it's uv minus v du by dx. u v minus v du by dx is just a 1. So minus a half x cos 2x plus a half. Now where did cos come from? Do you remember that sine goes to cos? So it's going to go back to sine, but I must have the derivative in front, balance outside. So it's minus a half x cos 2x plus a quarter. That will go back to sine 2x. And this time you had limits to put in, pi over 6 and 0. So putting pi over 6 in, so that's minus pi over 12, cos pi over 3, plus a quarter, sine pi over 3, and then put in 0. So it's 0, multiplying by 0, add a quarter, sine 0, which is 0. So putting that through your calculator, you should get minus pi over 24 plus root 3 over 8. Now I want to show you how I tidied this up. I made the bottoms both 24. So you times that by 3. And you could write that as 3 root 3 minus pi over 24.